and YouTube. Clubhouse has been neglecting the Android users, so we have to cater to them. we do feel a lot of I wouldn't say resentment, but I guess some people are feeling that they are not included in Clubhouse. So we're actually doing this session live as well. All right. So let me just add my speakers here as the moderators. Okay, I've also seen some of my friends here, some of my students. Thank you for joining. Hi, Lawrence. Hi, Arisha. Wow, thanks for joining us. Hi, Kim. Okay, so right now it's 10 sharp. Let's see if our live stream is working well. So sorry for slight delay while I have to multitask a little bit. So I think it's always good to push our live stream to more people, especially some groups. So what I'm going to do now is actually push this. Okay. To one of the group that, they, because of the pandemic, they formed this group called the SG COVID-19 Creative and Cultural Professionals and Freelancers Support Group. So I'm actually going to post it there. So hopefully the admin are going to approve it. They're friends. Cool. So hello everyone. Okay, as more people is coming in, I'll just do a quick introduction of what we're going to talk about today. Okay, because we want to keep a very strict timeline here. So how to create online content to enhance your brand. This is the topic that we'll be talking for tonight. My name is Ray Pang. I'm the moderator for today, and I'm also the founder of this OCC Club. Sounds like some, secondary school club, Okay, so this online content creation club. Okay, so this year, 2021, marks my 10th year as a commercial film director and a media trainer. So who educates clients and consumers with creative solutions using brand storytelling. So I'd like to quickly talk about, why 3 reasons why I started this club, named the OCC in short. Reason number 1. I created this club because I get asked a lot from industries outside of the creative world. People sometimes will come to me and say, hey, Ray, how do you do this video? How to create video content to promote our brand and our services? So I do get that quite a bit. So that's one reason why I started this club. Reason number 2 is that I've been conducting trainings for corporate brands, to financial institute, and also to marketers, how to produce short online content for their organizations. So, I'm just thinking, why not just start a club so I can share more? And last reason, it's really all about giving back. I think this pandemic really brings everyone closer with technology like Clubhouse, with Zoom, with StreamYard, with so many, all these tools actually bring us a little bit closer, that we are actually sharing more of our knowledge just to help out one another to go through this difficult time. So I think this difficult time, especially for small businesses and even SME owners and independent professionals. So all right, that's me in a nutshell. So I would like to invite Belinda. Okay, so today we have Belinda, we have Daniel, we have Eric here with us. So why don't we get first of all, Happy International Women's Day. Hi, Belinda. Hi, Belinda. Sorry. The live session, you are muted though. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting.
Right, because you told me you unmute it for us.
Yeah. I tried to. I can't do it. I don't know why. I wanted to unmute for you, but I'm not allowed to. I'm not sure.
Okay, would everyone be bored if I say that again?
No.
No, please go ahead.
Yeah,
Say it one more time.
Please say one more time.
I wasn't
Alright,
paying
so
attention, please.
try
Yeah.
to make it fast. So happy International Women's Day to one and all. My name is Belinda, and I'm really glad to be here with some of my old friends like Daniel and Ray. Daniel and I were just talking, and we learned that we actually knew each other for more than 20 years already. So I'm a founder and director of a strategic communications agency called Think Big Communications. At the same time, I'm also the startup founder for Arto, which is an art tech startup. So in a lot of my work, we work with clients to understand the bridge between their business and consumers. And storytelling plays a large part in communicating the brand, products, and message. And in my past life, I mean, in the rest of my career, a lot of the focus has been spent on storytelling about people and about stories as well. I was also a label manager, music label manager and artist manager. So talking about stories and talking about people and creating content through entertainment, through music, through films had also been something that is close to my heart, both professionally as well as on a personal basis. I mean, one of the biggest reasons I know Daniel and Ray well is because we are all in the filmmaking major. And that's why in most of my career, I do think that the content part is the part that really connects and engage people together. So I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'm happy to be part of this panel today.
Thank you so much, Belinda, for sharing. I think, every time I get the speakers to introduce themselves, they're always too humble to talk about their big accolades and their achievements. So, I'm the one that will help, share a little bit more about Belinda, just to echo before we go to Daniel. So Belinda has, in my memory, one of the social media guru, the pioneers, she was always on TV. If you find her familiar based on her photo, if you're in Singapore, she's always on TV telling us what's the emerging trend for social media. So she's the one, okay? Just in case if you just find her familiar. So that's Belinda, okay? So Daniel, you're up next. Do a quick introduction about yourself.
Yeah, okay. I think I just unmute myself. Can you hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Hello.
We can.
Really?
Yes, we can, Daniel. We can hear you on Clubhouse. Yeah, it's a bit difficult for us because we're multitasking on both platforms.
Yeah, so I have like my mind's blown already. So many wires coming out of my ears. Yes, I'm Daniel. Well, I'm here to learn, actually. Everybody is here so well decorated. I mean, Belinda, I mean, she's like literally like the guru of social media, and Eric is like the king of LinkedIn, and Ray has so much experience. I mean, not just in the field, but teaching as well. So for me, I'm a storyteller. I mean, I've made 3 feature films, a few short films. Yeah, I love story. I just love story. I think story has power, and I think in modern world where there's so much noise in the marketplace, when we want to stand out, we cannot just throw statistics and facts and numbers. We have to wrap our brand in a story, and story will cut through all this clutter. So I think nowadays, the one with the best story will win. So I'm passionate about storytelling.
Okay, again, my speakers, and I think it's quite late for Daniel because Daniel usually at this hour he's sleeping, he wakes up really early. That's why you can tell Daniel's energy is a bit low, but thank you, for agreeing to support our first session for this club. So
Yeah,
I just want to
if you look at
yep.
if you look at the YouTube the stream, right, my eyes are actually open, but I can't see my eyes. It's one straight
So for
line.
those who are interested, you can try to find out our live stream to see actually how we look like in 3D, So yeah, it's in the description. Okay. So I just want to echo and add on to Daniel's credentials as well. So Daniel is not just a content creator, a storyteller. Daniel is actually hosts a 3 feature film, which is like feature-length movie, a title under his belt. So, not a lot of content creators in Singapore can call themselves full-fledged content creators, where they actually do movies as well. So Daniel has done 3 movies, and one of the very mainstream ones that you might heard of, it's Dick Lee's adaptations, right? Is it adaptation or biopic? It's called Wonder Boy.
Biopic with a lot of drama, sex, and drugs.
And drugs, sex and drugs, right? Yes. It's a beautiful film, art direction. Some of you have seen it. They actually went to Malaysia. And of course, maybe the next session, we can talk more about Daniel's venture as a, commercial film director into feature film, which is movie making. And he does a lot of short films as well. All right, that's Daniel. Fantastic. Okay, so usually I save the best for the last. And very honored to have Eric here with us today. So Eric, please do a quick introduction about yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Hi Eric, you are muted on Clubhouse.
I'm muted on Clubhouse, sorry.
Yeah, good.
Hi everyone, it's really an honor to be here, and I can see some people. Sandra, welcome. Keith, Priscilla, Kim, somebody with party hat, Ashraf, and Shara as well. It's I don't know what to say. I really enjoyed this movie, The Wonder Boy. Dick Lee is one of my hero. Makes a lot of great music and make us proud. Because his music goes into the Hong Kong movies a lot, right? And he writes songs for Hong Kong singer. And there you go. I'm now in the same room in Clubhouse as the co-director of The Wonder Boy. How wonderful is that? I can't believe. Ray, thank you for bringing me in. So for me, my intro won't be short. I'll make it long.
Can I just interrupt a bit? Eric,
Yeah.
Are you hearing a reverb? Because, we are actually going live as well. Are you hearing that?
I don't hear reverb because I
you're okay, right?
No,
Muted,
because
right?
I muted my speaker on my laptop, my stream, yeah. So I'm only hearing Clubhouse.
Fantastic. Okay, please, sorry for interrupting. Please tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so 21 years ago, in year 2000, I applied for a Princeton PhD, and they sent me this letter which says, thank you for applying, we received your application. Unfortunately, we cannot admit you, but we'll put you on waiting list. So 21 years later, I'm still waiting. So while waiting, then Clubhouse came out. So since I cannot teach at the university without a PhD, I decided to teach on Clubhouse. So here I am trying to teach what I have learned or what I always wanted to teach in the university. So now I'm teaching career skills, banking and finance. So this is what I do now. From now on, yeah, I will be camping on Clubhouse, as some of you might already know. Thank you very much. This is Eric Sin.
All right. Thanks, Eric, for sharing. And, I love your joke about camping here. But it's all real, So, please don't think that Eric is actually joking. What he mentioned about him being rejected, all this was a real story. And actually, Eric has 2 million LinkedIn followers. So later, he will talk more about how he actually, able to actually achieve that huge followings and his kind of content creation skill set. So today is actually what we are going to be talking about. All right, Eric, thank you so much. So for those who just joined us, I'll just do a quick reset. Okay, so you can tap on the profile picture, my profile picture. Okay, my name is Ray, the one speaking with this blue thingy. Actually modified my description, so to give you an idea, the rundown for tonight's talk. So you can see, right, 10 to 10:05, we talk about sales. So we're slightly a little bit overrun, but we get there. No, actually 10:20, we're supposed to talk about topic. So it's slightly early, which is great. So you can see the rundown we're going to talk about under my bio. And on a fun note, okay, the speakers and I are on live stream now, okay? So today we are talking on the topic of how to create online content to enhance your brand or even a personal branding. Okay, so if you are a business owner, a marketeer, independent professional, or even just fresh content creators, this will be helpful for you. So if you know anyone that I had mentioned, okay, who can also benefit from this session, please ping them into this room. Okay, we actually Eric's usually are paid to give talks like this. I am a professional media trainer, same for Belinda and Daniel. So we are trying to share, like I mentioned very early in the clubhouse, that we hope to share more of this knowledge so everyone can benefit from it, right? So if you know anyone, so if you don't know how to ping people, I just want to quickly tell you, at the bottom of the screen on your clubhouse, there's this plus icon. So you just need to write plus, and then you can ping whoever you think they'll benefit from this room. So let's get the ball rolling a little bit for today's topic, right? So I would like to start with Eric first,
Sure.
who writes for his 2 million LinkedIn followers. So
Sure.
Eric,
Yeah.
what are some of your best performing content that have worked for you, and how did you do it?
Best performing content, to me, like best performing content is I managed to impact lives. I think I'll just share one that is more recent. So last year, Singapore was on lockdown late April. So the first week of May, I was looking for a delivery because I got sick of this Fei Fei Wanton noodle. That's the only delivery I know. We were eating that almost every day, sometimes twice a day. So I say cannot keep eating wanton noodle. It's not good for health. So then I passed by this zi cha shop. Then I asked the person. I said, "Hey, you do delivery, because zi cha seldom do delivery." He said, "Yeah." I said, "What's your dish that you recommend?" He said, "Curry fish head." Curry fish head. I don't like curry. I also don't eat fish head. But I say this is your recommended dish. I better order. Because if I order something else not nice, then I cannot blame you, right? Because I never take your recommendation. So I say, okay, let's do one of that. 30 minutes later, he delivered in a big container. And inside this big plastic bag has got a letter. So I read the letter. I say, "Dear Mr. Eric, during this time, your support is very important to us because now we can only rely on delivery and takeaway. So we hope you enjoy our signature dish, and we're really grateful for your support." So I was very surprised. How can a hawker print such a letter? And it's not a pre-printed, right? It has got my name on it, and it has got the dish that I ordered. What happens if I order hor fan? What is he going to say? So I was pretty impressed. Then 6 months later, I went to visit him again. Then he reminded me, I said, "Hey, Mr. Eric, during the lockdown, you order from us 3 times a week. Do you remember?" I said, yeah, I still remember because you give good service and good food. So I decided to write a post on LinkedIn about this hawker. So I wrote the story that I said, and I put down the photo. Okay, if you have access to LinkedIn, if you go to my LinkedIn account, if you search for Eric Singh, you should get it. And on the first post, under featured section, you should be able to see one dish, one orange dish, slightly messy. That's the curry fish head, which I ordered for delivery the first time I found this shop. And the way I write my content is I have a personal story, sometimes about myself, but often about other people. But I also have universal application because on LinkedIn, people want to learn, and there are a lot of career job seeker down there. So I have a occupational hazard. Occupational hazard, in Chinese called 职业病. So every time I see people, I assess them, I judge them based on the 4 Ps. Number 1, do you take pride in your work? Number 2, do you have good products? Or if you're a banker, do you have product knowledge? Number 3, do you have the passion to serve customers? Number 4, do you keep your promise to deliver good food and high quality services in the long run? Why I took 6 months before I post, I was already very impressed on the first day, but I needed 6 months to observe him, to see whether he's still consistent with his food and his service, right, to deliver to my home. Is it because it's one time only during the COVID, during lockdown, he got no business, he did it so well. When he got more business, he forgot about me. So no, 6 months later, he is still very, very passionate about his work. He still remembers me. So I wrote such an article where there's a personal story with a universal application, and I show the letter. You can see if you are on live later on, Ray, you should tell our listener out there on Clubhouse how to go to your YouTube live to see us, to see our face, and to see this article and see the letter as well. And
Right.
this got okay. You want to say first? You want to say before I continue?
Yes,
How to
wow, it's really storytelling right now. I'm really immersed in your story here. Actually, I haven't read this article. So actually, we are doing live streaming because we want to cater to Android users as well. So you guys are hearing us just audio based, right? So we're actually live streaming. So I'm actually sharing the screen of Eric's article on LinkedIn. So if you want, we are live stream on YouTube and Facebook. So YouTube is actually my account. It's Ray Pang, RayPang, and then YH. If you just were to just Google, just type RayPangYH on YouTube, you should be able to see that live stream right now. All right. So
Okay.
thanks, David. Thanks, Eric. Sorry.
yeah. You see, you listen to my story. You forgot my name already. Okay. So this story was picked up by LinkedIn New York editor. If you are on my LinkedIn page, the second featured article is the recommendation by LinkedIn New York editor. So LinkedIn New York editor, you can see this lady right in the blue t-shirt. That is by the LinkedIn editor, featuring this particular article about curry fish head, about the young hawker who gave such a good service to the LinkedIn community. So you can imagine Americans learning about curry fish head. In fact, this is probably the whole world already, because when LinkedIn New York editor pushed this out, right, the whole world can read this particular article. And I was very happy to know that it was my article was one of the 3 top picks for February. So every month they chose 3. So the other 2 chosen were American ladies, I believe. So I was the only Asian with the Asian story. So this is the type of article that I write. I would write about my tailor. I would write about beside hawkers also people around us. Sometimes I like to give them a voice to share their story, and also there's so much we can learn from them. And for me, just now Ray said that I've got 2 million followers. When my followers followed me, what the more important reason is for me to have a voice, and for me to use this voice to share people's story. It's not for me to make money out of it. It's also not for me to show, hey, follow me because I got 2 million followers. It's not that. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you don't see the 2 million followers right at the top. Yeah, on Clubhouse, I do that because nobody knows me, and I want them to come to LinkedIn and read the stories about our hawkers, read the story of our tailors, even the people on the road, insurance agent, so hard life and facing so much rejection. Yeah, so this is the way I write. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for giving me a chance to share.
Wow, that's, because Eric, you see, for me and Daniel and even Belinda, we are film, graduates. We study film, we study storytelling, we know how to write script, the 3-act structures, the 5 structures, and things like that. I want to dig deeper because Eric's article, because you are a great writer in terms of writing a simple story that can resonate, with the people on the ground, and then it gets picked up. Your article is not just picked up by the one that you mentioned. It get picked up by New York, get picked up by in China, and you are actually one of the only person, right, on LinkedIn that has been featured top voice in Singapore and also top voice in China. So
yes.
So you're the only person that I know. I'm honored to know you. And how do you get? Okay, you said you write stories about other people, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get? Do you look at pictures first? Do you find them? And is there a kind of formula? Is there a secret recipe to writing story? Because I think everyone thinks they can write, but not everyone can write like you. Tell us a little bit of that secret, will you?
Yeah. Okay. So you say that I'm the only one you know who got this two award. That is true. I don't think you can represent two countries for Olympics, right? So LinkedIn make a special exception for me, since I write in both English and Chinese, and I have two groups of target audience. So Chinese for mainland China and English for international audiences too. So for me, I'm always curious. Because when I was young, I suffered from a very serious inferiority complex. So I feel like I'm like good for nothing. I was physically weak. Like I'm the shortest in class. I checked my school report card. I think I'm like 10 kg below the average weight of those people, like 12, 13, 14 years old. Then fail mathematics, fail English, little social skills, speak Hokkien mostly, then learn a bit of Mandarin. When I go to university in NUS, first year I need to take English. Isn't it embarrassing? Still to take English. It's because my English was so bad, so they forced me to take English in the first year. So I think because of that, I just want to find out, these people, one day they may be somebody. So what's their story? Is there something that I can learn? Will this person be doing something big? Because I don't really believe in potential. Because when you look at me when I was, below 35, you won't think that I have any potential. So I think potential is overrated. So when I look at people, I don't look for potential. I just look for resilience, the willingness to learn. Is he passionate? And also the 4 Ps that I talk about. Does he take pride in his work? Like even the smallest task, got pride or not? Like what Singaporeans say, right? Got passion to serve or not? Then do you keep your promise, right? Do you have integrity? And do you have an eye for products? Just like filmmakers, right? Daniel and you, when you do lighting, when the angle, do you retake or not? You don't care how late it is, but you will want a perfect product. And for Belinda, you started doing this social media when we are all still a kid. So at that time, you must like something new, like you are willing to take risks, right? To venture into this area. So I look out for people like that. Yeah.
So am I right to say? So now I'm trying to decode how Eric writes. So that you have accumulated 2 million plus followers. If you look at Eric's LinkedIn, the comments that people are falling in love with the article. I think you write on the topic of you just mentioned. So for us, when we write, we talk about themes, topics. So you write on resilience. You actually like to write underdog stories, do you?
Yes, I want to give people the voice because people like to write about famous people, right? People want to take photo. If you look at social media, one of the trick is you take photo with movie stars, you take photo with politicians. So I think they already got enough people writing about them. So I do something for those people who will never see social media, will never see themselves on social media. So that's my job.
All right. Okay. So today is something we learned some insights. Eric, if you guys are thinking about writing article, try to, there's something that, I tend to tell my students is if everyone is painting white, maybe paint black or maybe paint red or yellow. At least you have a chance to stand out. And I think Eric is trying to have that approach. I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong. And you tend to give.
Yeah. That is actually not my objective. Actually, the way I write, right, is personal stories. So it's about the person that I bump on the street. It's about the person I interact with. So this is the most powerful because personal story, no right or wrong. And to make the personal story powerful is to apply universally. That means your story, is it applicable to your readers? How can you make a personal story that is also useful to the readers out there. So I think this is the key. Because if you just write personal story, it belongs to Facebook, right? I go there, I eat a very nice curry fish and I take one photo. It doesn't belong on LinkedIn, right? But then if I write about the 4 Ps without the curry fish head, then there are a lot of such chickens, a lot of this type of tips and advice in self-help books. So those are also not very useful. And those stories, those tips and advice, they don't belong to you until you link it to yourself personally. So again, personal stories with universal applications.
Wow.
Over to you, Ray.
Okay, at least I'm glad I dig a little bit more. So we're gonna have this short bites, and then for our live stream, and you're gonna rehash it so people actually see and find some of your insights. Thank you so much, Eric. Okay, so we have let's see, Simon who raised your hand. So Simon, just to do a quick reset on the room for those who just joined us. Thank you for joining us. If you click on my profile pic, I'm actually have this rundown of today's session. So we're gonna have a Q&A at 11 later. Right, so each of us will do a one sharing on what content you should do for your brand. So Eric just shared his perspective, how he writes. Okay, so I will have to have Simon to wait for the Q&A later. All right, Simon. So I see some friends here: Adeline, Sandra, Cheryl, Sylvie, Terrence, Denise. Okay, we have some friends all joining to give us support. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All right, we have second person raising hand, so it will be in order. So later during the Q&A, Simon will go first, followed by Priscilla. All right. So next, let's invite Belinda. All right, Belinda. I have a question for you. I'm gonna unmute you. I can't seem to unmute my guest. You have to choose to unmute yourself on the live stream. Thank you so much, Belinda. Thank you. Yeah. So, Belinda, you have been, a content creator, a filmmaker, a social media guru, a strategist. I want to ask you this question. What kind of content, especially for online content, would you recommend? And how can anyone do it?
Okay, I'll try my best to answer this question as simply as I can. To me, this question usually takes quite a lot of deliberation because there's quite a bit of variables involved. Firstly, I also like to take away the word guru. People in my industry, whenever the advice that I give to my clients is, if anyone says that they're a guru, please run as far as you can from them. Because as you know, a lot of people claim that they are gurus or experts, and we are always learning. So we try to be on the ball, and we try to always keep a very the kind of attitude. So I don't think there's any specific gurus or experts in any fields, especially when it comes to marketing. So back to your question. Sorry, your question is what type of content, right, will work?
And how do you do that? Like, Eric shares about writing article,
right,
personal stories. So what are some content that, some our viewers here, they could be business owners, right. They could be, yeah.
Let me try to answer that on different levels. Let me try to answer that in the on the perspective of, let's say, a brand or a company doing marketing first, and then I'll delve down to a more personal level. For brands and businesses, typically there are two motivations to their business or products. One is what we call an emotional trigger, and one is what we call a functional trigger. Typically, people are attracted first to an emotional trigger, and that's what a lot of advertisements do, which Daniel does that with storytelling all the time. He will be able to share with that a little bit later. And with that emotional trigger, you will subconsciously create a connection with the brand. So the way typically customers make decisions when they make a decision to buy is based on a few buying triggers. So initially, when, let's say, you want to buy a mobile phone, I know all of you here are iPhone users, but let's say you want to buy a mobile phone. There will be a couple of brands that will pop up in your minds first. Now, you may not know exactly why you will only consider that 3 brands, but typically it has something to do with a resonance that the brand has created in that process of you just plain browsing or shopping. And that is the emotional connection that it does. And sometimes they do it via social media, sometimes they do it via advertisements, sometimes they do it via their customer service, right? For whatever reasons. So in the fish head curry example, it's purely customer service. And of course, they do it in a very, what we call, very amiable way. And that creates the kind of warm, cozy, fuzzy feeling in you that you want to replicate over and over again. So the second one, which is the functional trigger, happens when you need to make an informed decision. That means that's where you start comparing functions. So that's why when we do marketing, whether you talk about P&G, you talk about Coca-Cola, they always use an emotional ad to influence you first, but it will always follow up with something that's promotional or something that tells you how great the product is, because that's where your functional decision-making process comes to place. So when we talk about creating content online, in your company or a brand, you must understand what is the bridge between me and my customers. What kind of, when we talk about target profiles, what they say about birds of the same feather flock together. So if your brand was a human, what kind of traits, values, personality will that brand possess? And how do you then articulate that into a content? So if you're young, dynamic, you're colorful, you're fun, exciting, that should come out in the content that you create, so that you will be attracting the same kind of friends, which are your customers in that process. And when they have that kind of warm, fuzzy feeling with you, then naturally you will have formed level of decision making with that customer. So that's on a brand and company level. And I hope I have simplified that. I try my best. So on a personal level, then at the same time, in some parts of my job, I work with like artists, I work with like musicians, I work with filmmakers to create entertainment content. And I think that everyone who is online is looking to fulfill some sort of desire, whether it is the desire to be educated, the desire to be informed, or the desire to be entertained. And this is one of the reasons why people are on Clubhouse, right? They're either looking for entertainment, just to shed their boring times away, or they're actually looking for information like this. So if you understand the desire of your customer, whether or not it is for your personal brand or on a company level, then you are able to create a content that is able to fulfill a particular desire of your target audience. So on a personal brand level, let's say you're a singer and you're trying to create an album, you're trying to conceptualize an album for your fans. It's the same thing. We look for emotional attachment, and then how do you translate that into, let's say, music or films? So my point is always look for what is the emotional attachment that you want to create that will fulfill a desire of your target audience.
All right, I was about to ask you to give you an example, right? Because I have some actors friends telling me, that we have a lot of portfolios in acting. So you mentioned about singer, right? So you're saying to use a reverse mechanic, to reverse it and think about the target audience, to think about the emotional trigger, and then from there, come out with a content. Is that what you're saying, Belinda?
I think it's more of trying to find a match. So as with all A&R, which means artist and repertoire in the music business, every artist has an image, and whether that image is actually created by the artists themselves or whether that image is created by the company, every artist has an image. And typically good A&R will create an image that creates a cause for the artist. Like whether or not, let's say, Jason Mraz is into freedom for love, for example, then it reflects it in the way that he dresses, the way that he, the song's lyrics, he goes barefooted on stage. Every single little thing that, he do will then reflect his message. If let's say, for example, maybe like Chinese band Mayday, let's say they are like, okay, pursue your dreams, be the best version of yourself as you can be. Then, all their songs are full of dynamic. It doesn't matter if you go off tune. Life is all about, living that dream. I mean, although some of these messages could often be duplicated because that's what works. But what we're really looking for is what kind of content would match the kind of image that you're trying to create and the target audience that you are trying to attract.
Okay, so you're saying what you want to be known for. So it's just like the kind of personal branding. If you mention about the artist want to be known that this person is down to earth, he doesn't wear shoes that goes up on stage. I'm not sure. So you're saying every little things. So if I were to like put in a more, because some of the viewers here, after we're going to share this live stream, they it's like a big thing that you mentioned, right? It takes a lot of strategy. You're talking in a very strategic manner, right? So
Sorry, that's my job.
I know that's your job. You see, you look at the big picture, and what if we go to micro, right? From macro to micro, what's the first thing if, let's say, I'm an aspiring artist who sings and act?
Okay, I think one of the first things is also very simple, right? You need to look at the trends of the world. So definitely there are definitely two main trends currently. One is video and one is audio. So when you're trying to create content, I think that one needs to also understand trends of the world. So, getting really, and so by understanding, let's say, how people use their social media, and the way to understand how people use it's me first, because you are also an online audience. You'll know that, okay, attention span is really short. So you don't want to create a video that's 20 minutes long, for example. Something that is under 3 minutes, best if 30 seconds to a minute, which is great. That audio content, with the rise of Clubhouse and other applications that are also using a lot more podcast versions, that audio is also getting more and more important. So for audiences who may not have the attention span to keep looking at videos, maybe audios. And then when we work with our clients, right, in the business world, one of the types of audios that we highly recommend are social videos. Not audio, I mean social videos. And what is the difference between a social video and a normal video on YouTube? Is that a social video is a word first, image second format that is designed for mobile. Whereas like a normal YouTube video is meant to be listened and watched at the same time. A social video, as most of you who are Facebook users or Instagram users will know, oftentimes you don't on the audio. You basically watch the video with the audio off. So if you know that this is a trend and more than 90% of Facebook users are watching video with the audio off, then these are the content that you want to create first. So apart from trends and behaviors, the other thing is also has to do with, it takes a little while for content to go viral. So there are typically two strategies that we use. One is hijack a current event. Obviously, if, let's say, what Ray is doing right now is trying to climb onto the bandwagon of the hype of Clubhouse. Hijack a current trend, hijack a current event. The other one is to create something that's super evergreen, so that even if it takes time to go viral, that piece of content will never be out of fashion.
Wow, that's really good advice. So that means if there's a new technology like Clubhouse, you want to be one of the earlier ones to adopt it and to try it, right? So to give you that advantage. So I don't know, I'm actually pretty late into like YouTube Shorts. I was actually told by this 14-year-old little girl and said, "Oh, TikTok is dying. We are watching YouTube Shorts now. They are like a competitor to TikTok." And when I went in, this past weeks, I'm like, "Oh wow, it's like huge." So is there a platform, Belinda, right now that is like maybe a picking one other than Clubhouse? I think Clubhouse are like, they say it's like a TikTok for adults. I'm not sure. Just,
I don't know. It sounds wrong. But I think, again, with the rise of audio-based apps, there are a lot of other platforms that are being revitalized. Like Twitter is also trying the entire Clubhouse format. Instagram just launched a multi-person kind of live stream. Yes, you've got YouTube Shorts, but I'm not sure whether they will take off yet. I'm not sure. I think we're going to see a lot more quick short form videos as well as audio type social networking. And I think that generally the entire social media scene is moving towards niche circles rather than open social networks. So things like Facebook will be out of fashion in no time. People are moving out of the entire open social network space. They're moving towards, smaller niche rooms and circles. Whether we are going to messaging apps, they are going to be merged with social media functions, like whether you talk about like, updated version of like a Telegram or a WhatsApp. Definitely Clubhouse belongs to one of the niche ones because, it is not exactly a an open public social network. You still need to be connected by connections. And people need to be kind of like following you live to be able to see information. So that's where I think it's hating. But is there one particular platform that I think stand up right now? I don't think so. And I think in the future, it's going to be more diverse and more diverse.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Belinda, for giving us, such an in-depth from macro to micro kind of knowledge and insights. Thank you so much, Belinda. Sorry for picking your brain a little bit here and there. Okay. So next, I'll get Daniel. Because Daniel, it's someone who's the how. He does all these assets, for marketeers to syndicate, to media buys, Daniel, tell us, the same question to you. What is the kind of popular content right now would you recommend, and how can anyone do it? If let's say we're talking about beginner levels, like how can someone just, do something of what you do, but in a more smaller scale?
Wow. First, I'll just like to talk about what Belinda has said earlier. It spoke in so many different layers that I have nothing else to talk about. Okay, let me try. For me, I came from the movie industry, so I think I'll approach this in a more the movie entertainment kind of way. So for us, we're trained first entertain, then the message comes. So do not try to do it the other way. Of course, there are like training videos and information-driven videos, but if you want to reach the mass, I think whatever we do, we need to wrap it up in an entertaining way. Maybe a horror, comedy, something sad, something emotional. People are attracted to stories more than they are attracted to fact, statistics, step by step. So tell an emotional story. How do we tell an emotional story? I think we talk a lot about resonance, how people connect emotionally. I think 5,000 years ago, the kings of Egypt to the modern guy, homeless guy sleeping on the street, they share the same fears and they share the same desire. Throughout the century, everybody is the same. We all crave recognition. We all crave love. We all crave acceptance. We all fear rejection. We all fear failure. We all fear worthlessness. Yes, we need security. So all these throughout the years, throughout the centuries, all these are universal emotions that we can tap on while we're telling a story.
Right. So, Daniel, I'm going to chip in here to ask you a deeper one. You mentioned about as a content creator, you are a film director, commercial. You've done commercials, you've done a narrative short films, you've done feature-length movies, you have served corporate clients as well. So you mentioned is to entertain first and then sell the message, right?
Yeah.
So give us, I'm here to facilitate and to dig, that one answer. If I am, okay, for example, SME owner right now, right? I want to do something fun, comedy maybe helps to sell, like you mentioned, right? Sure. And how can I use comedy as a genre to bring customers to come to my brick and mortar store or even online store to buy this particular product?
So it really depends. It's like sometimes we sell values. What is the value of the shop? What is the personal journey of the brand? But so one thing we always get it wrong is that when we sell stories like that, we always think that the brand is Luke Skywalker. But however, actually the customer should be Luke Skywalker and we should be Yoda. We should be the one to bring them to where they want to go. So using comedy, using not just comedy, it's like isn't excitement, using suspense, horror, anything that can wrap the story around an emotion. I don't know what's an example. What's a good example?
Can I chip in? Okay,
Daniel
have 2 short films that went billions of views, right? Both, if I'm not wrong, was part of community chats, isn't it, Daniel?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us the second one, the latter one, that went super viral. So how do you manage to come up with a story like that? And how, whatever you have mentioned, using something that might resonate, entertain, and then there's this meaningful message to it. Do you want to tell us a little bit how you managed to do a conceptualization, ideation to doing that?
Sure. So Conscience approached me. So it usually, when it comes to a corporate video, they have a message. So for the second video that I did for them, it's called Ripple. Ripple's theme is to pay it forward, is to spread kindness. So we could do it the usual way, which is have a talking head and preach about how good it is to be kind to one another, or we can just wrap it around a story. So in this case, it's a story about a man queuing up in a grocery store, and there's a family in front who's buying a cake, who doesn't have enough money to pay for the cake. And then this man in the queue, he says, well, I'll pay for it. And then when the family refused, the man, he explained, oh, long time ago when I was young, it's my birthday, I have no money to buy a cake. And then this old man, he paid for my cake. And then what happens after that is the family brought the cake back to the old man who bought the cake for the young man. So it's kind of like it's a ripple effect. So using storytelling like that, we wrap a message around a story that people doesn't like to be preached to. People like to learn by themselves. When you watch a story, when you learn, it goes deeper. It goes into the heart. When you tell them a fact, it goes into the mind, which we can forget. So we always try to go for the heart using storytelling.
Okay, I'd just like to conclude that, Daniel. So correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying, I think I have served multiple, corporate clients, and sometimes they say, okay, we got this product. We're going to sell the USP, right? So what our product does, which you mentioned is facts, right? When we're just selling facts, right? It lacks of that emotional trigger. Is that what you're saying? And then instead of selling the facts about what their product does in terms of unique selling point, you want to sell them the value. You want to sell them something that's more meaningful. You want audience to join the dots by themselves. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we use emotion. So I mean, selling features is very 1980s. Selling benefits is very 2000. But I think now we are in the year of selling empowerment, selling emotions. I mean, Nike sells shoes. Shoes is a commodity. It takes $20 to build a shoe. How can they sell it to us at $200? Because they sell empowerment, right? Just do it, right? So with that empowerment, with that emotion, they can turn a commodity into a brand.
Wow, that's fantastic. That is gold right there. Okay, so if you guys are having a business, don't sell like the unique selling points of like what the features of your product. Maybe sell like empowerment. Sell that belief it might work. And of course, if they are interested, they'll find out through the brochure or their website. Then they'll find out, oh, this shoe has this extra sole that makes you comfortable or whatever, right? So that's something that Daniel is really good at in doing. All right, Daniel, you want to add something on? If not, then looking at time, we're coming to 11 where we're going to have the Q&A. But of course, it'll be me last to share. Okay, what are some content that is suitable? Mike is going to go straight into I strongly believe there's one type of content that every business or every professional should have at least that one type of content. So here we go. It's called the behind the scenes content, right? So some of here, I see my students here, this is something that I preach in my class. Why? Let's talk about behind the scenes. So behind the scenes, to me, it's way too underrated. I'll give you more examples. Sometimes creating a video doesn't means that we are getting lots of views or reach. That's like a success. But actually, what do you want to be known for? For your brand, for your product, or for the business? You see, clients and buyers don't fully understand what you do, right? So they assume. Usually, they don't fully appreciate our expertise or even your expertise or even your product. So they need your service, but doesn't really feel the value. So the only way that they can see how much work you put into it, it's when, all this can be shown with a behind the scene video. Take for example, if you are in the real estate industry, Most people might assume you find buyers and sellers, you show them the property, you sign the documents, you take the commission cuts, and that's it. Typically, I mean, this is me assuming what property agent does, right? But typically, most agents do tour videos as well right now. It's like a trend, right? But what if, okay, you film a video of yourself with the help of one of your colleague in a vlog style. So like it can be like, vlog means like a vlogging style, talking into the camera, sharing the day in the life of a property agent or even a tour guide or even you doing selling duck rice or whatever, right? What you do. So we see you putting the hard work. We see you doing the research in the property agent kind of perspective. You are discussing with a client, working out with the homeowners. You work out a marketing plan. You propose to declutter their house. You arrange the staging of the house with the furnitures, etc., etc. Now, next time, when you have a new potential buyer, right? They will actually do their own due diligence to research before hiring you. And sometimes it could be word of mouth. But if they see this video, right? Or, you can share them with the video link, embed it under your email or any social handle. So not only you're showing the authentic side of you and your services, but clients will actually see that value in you instead of just talking about price point, how much, you're worth in terms of your salary and your contract. So whatever price points, you are in a better position to negotiate after seeing the behind the scene video. So you get lots of referral based on that behind the scene video as well. So this is what I strongly believe. I think most professionals or even business should have at least one. Instead of just selling you that kind of corporate, this is what we do, etc., etc. Think about doing something of behind the scenes.
Yeah,
But,
I think Ray, that's fantastic. I'm going to take that idea because I seldom do behind the scene. I think it's like showing too much of my personal life. But I think what you say, I would like it to I would like to pick that up and do it on my LinkedIn, maybe or more on Instagram as well, because this also saves time, right? Rather than thinking of writing content, interview so many people, wait for 6 months, might as well do behind the scene where less preparation. And by the way, you are showing Daniel's face instead of your own
yes.
face. Yeah. So you may want to show yourself a bit more since you are the star here. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Eric is talking about the live stream. I hope I can use some of it. So for our
Yes.
rehash and repurposing. So that's me, Ray speaking and done sharing. So I hope that encourage some of you here on the Clubhouse to think about doing behind the scenes video. We're coming to 11. That's in the rundown. If you look at my profile, you see like we are actually going to have a Q&A session. So we have two participants who raised their hands. They might have a question. So before we invite some of you up to ask the question, I would like you to keep it short because, being around on Clubhouse, we tend to have someone comes out and then they talk about what they do, etc., because we want to keep this session short. So, I can see Daniel it's tired. So keep it short. Please introduce yourself. Okay. Short one. Usually, I call it like a log line. And hopefully we can talk about this in the next session because I teach this in financial organizations so that they can cross-sell the products in one sentence, right? So, all right, so we're going to just bring up Simon. Okay, and I'm going to bring up Priscilla and then also Leanne. Hi, Leanne. So it's going to be in an order. So let's see. Let me just do a quick reset. Okay, so right now we're having a Q&A session. Again, before I allow the participants to ask the question, I would like to do a quick reset for those who just joined us. We are actually talking about what kind of content might suit what you're doing and how it can enhance your brand. If you are a business owner, you are an individual, independent professionals, we call them freelancers in different fields, please ping those people you might think would benefit from this session because we're going to end at 11:30. All right. So Simon, what's your question? All right. To my panel, anyone wants to take this question?
I can take that because I write for two different groups of audience. I write in Chinese. So if you look at my LinkedIn post, it's usually English first, then followed by Chinese. So Chinese targeting at mainland Chinese audience, then English international audience. So when I write this, sometimes I write for Chinese audience specifically. I may put the Chinese first, and my Chinese version is longer. The English version is a bit shorter. Say, for example, I say, okay, Google yourself and see what you find. Does your name come up? When I do the Chinese version, I don't say Google yourself because Google doesn't work in China. So in Chinese version, I'll say Baidu yourself. So this is what I do. And also, I think food is quite universal if you have got international audience. I think food is a unifier. Other topics sometimes can be very geographical. If you talk about politics, if you talk about places of interest, only a certain people will understand. But food, right? If you look at just now my example of curry fish head, can even be picked up by an American New York editor. So this is what I like to do, and also the giving voices to daily people. So far, I find that also work across culture. I think no matter what culture, people like to know that if you work hard, if you've got a passion for your trade, they will support you, even though they may not eat your food, they may not be able to understand the language. For example, 4 years ago, in Singapore, there was a street food vendor. His name is Mr. Chan Hong Meng. He won the world's first Michelin star for street food. He was selling soy sauce, chicken noodle. I wrote that article, and people from all over the world start congratulating him. Say, hey, congratulations, Mr. Chan. First of all, they didn't know Mr. Chan cannot read English. And number two is Mr. Chan is not the one writing that article. I was the one behind writing that article. Yeah. If you want to share a bit more, Simon, like what do you have in mind, like where you are writing, I can give a different answer or a more suitable answer for you.
Daniel, you
Welcome.
want to take that question, Daniel?
Oh, okay. So when it comes to subtitles, well, I guess subtitles are just subtitles. But what I want to say is, story wins. I mean, I'm a guy who doesn't like to read subtitles. But I mean, recently I've been watching a lot of Korean shows, and I think it's going to be like a huge, it's a universal phenomenon. Everybody reads subtitle. Everybody watch Korean films, and they just read. So if it is a good story, it would transcend. I mean, it's like even when we don't look at the subtitle, we might understand the story. So I guess at the end of the day, a good story rules. That's what I can say.
I'd like to echo on Daniel's part, also Simon, my perspective on copywriting, because I teach something called concrete images. So sometimes I reverse mechanic. So for example, how do you want people to feel sad? So what's the visual that it's complement the wording sad, or maybe happy, or maybe excited? So sometimes for us, visual storytelling is important. So if let's say you want to evoke a particular feeling, when we write script, right? So we write, okay, this person, in the screenplay, we don't write he's sad, right? We write in a visually manner. His head is down, he's, cuddling, by the sofa by himself at the corner of the room. That shows sadness. So that's how we write for visuals. So I'm not sure that gives everyone a perspective how filmmakers like us think in terms of copywriting, because there's a particular workshop that I teach to use visuals, right? Taking photos on Instagram, how to make more impactful pictures so that you reverse it. People see it, they feel for it. So that to me, sometimes it's concrete images. Yeah. Belinda, you want to add something? Sorry, Belinda, you are muted on the live stream.
So I'm going to give you from a PR point of view. I see that you're a marketing director yourself, so I'm pretty sure you are already in tune with this, but I hope that this information could also benefit some of the other audiences. So from a PR point of view, sometimes enterprises need to make serious or proper announcements or to disseminate important information that may not always be stories driven. And I do agree with you in those instances. Having one single release or one single article or one single piece of writing that goes across the borders and across languages will be a bit tough. So typically a more generic, organic, global version is created, and then you may need very local team or local writers to kind of make sure that the nuances are in place. Certain language are not offensive in certain cultures. And also to add in information or content that could relate to the audience, especially in the first paragraph of that writing. Typically, when people read, you only have 15 seconds or less to garner their attention. So if you're not going to connect with them and tell them you actually understand them as an audience, you're going to lose the attention in 15 seconds or so.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Simon. I hope that answered your question. So thanks, Simon. So next we have Leanne. Leanne, you want to unmute yourself, introduce what you do, and what's your question?
Hi.
All right. Before I let my panel take this question, I would like to invite Philo. Philo just joined us. Oh, so Philo is a casting director. So after we share, we'll hear from a casting director's perspective, right? So let me invite Philo up to the stage because Leanne, you are an actress, and then here we have a casting director who have casted, in Singapore, Hollywood movies from Crazy Rich Asian to Agent 47 to Equals and many more, right? So Philo, so hold on to that. So any of my speakers here would like to take Leanne's question.
I can have a go. Like for me, I was in banking when I started writing on social media. So I think not necessarily you must share something that's related to acting. As long as something that people are attracted to you, then at the same time, they know that you are an actress. I think that can also create something interesting, because I think most actor and actresses, they will talk about their films, the movies, the advertisement they are in. So you can be different. Like for me, I could have talked about banking all the time for people to know that I'm a banker. Or I talk about career, I talk about people's life. Then they say that at the same time they know that I'm a banker. It's a bit like a restaurant. The most high margin product in the restaurant is the red wine. But you don't see the restaurant, right, selling red wine. The restaurant may sell a pasta dish, may sell the soy sauce chicken, but when you come, they consume the red wine. So if you want to make a brand for yourself that directors or casting manager can find you, is the people keep talking about you, that you share something really interesting for the audience. And you so happen to be an actress, so might as well get you, because you really got a ready audience. If they engage you, maybe they can bring your audience to come and watch this film. But of course, I I know nothing about film industry. I know nothing about casting. This is my way of thinking. Thanks.
Oh, that's fantastic, from someone from outside of creative industry. So Belinda and Daniel, both of us are film director. How would you want to take that question, or even Belinda?
Okay, so would you like to market yourself as an actress, or would you like to market yourself as like an influencer? Yeah, could you tell us more?
Daniel, you might have to speak up a little bit. You're a little bit soft.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sure. Oh,
Okay. Well, now it becomes like a family discussion already.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just get to the topic. Okay, so Leanne, okay, so it's good to see you here. Because we have also our listeners coming in. So the questions I would like to paraphrase from Leanne to Daniel is oh, see, you lost me there.
okay. I think I got what she's trying to say. So I mean, we don't have to start out to be an influencer. That might not be our objective. I think we just want to share. And I think you're in a very good position to share because you're an actress. So as an actress, it's a wonderful and colorful life. You get to experience the life of different characters. You get to go on set. You get to meet all kind of different people in the movie industry, and there are a lot of weird ones. So yeah, you share your life, and some of your sharing might go out to help some other people. And by being generous, you become an influencer in a way that your thought and whatever you learn in your life will influence other people to become who wants to inspire to be an actress. So yeah, and I think we live in a world that, because one of your questions is how do you know whether this is what the audience want? I think feedbacks are now quite instantaneous. The matter of likes, the matter of comments. So I mean, if they commented, hey, this is something that I'm very interested in, so you can give them more of what they are looking out for. So yeah, so there goes.
All right. Leanne, can I just chip in to echo that? Hope that you'll find this useful. I'm just going to telling you what you can consider doing. So remember, for this session, I talked about, let me just put myself out, about behind the scene video. I remember there was a session, a lady came up to me and say, hey Ray, I enjoy your talk, and I always want to be an actress, but I don't have the courage. I don't know how to start, blah, 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 right? So Leanne, maybe I'm just suggesting that maybe you can do a behind the scene video, like a vlogging, of your process of preparing every role that you do, the preparations and things like that. I think you're going to inspire more actors who wants to take that leap of faith, and people's going to see you as, oh wow, Leanne is someone showing us her process, her preparation, and her ups and downs, her failures, her success, her walk on the red carpet, whatever. So people get to see and taste about how is it like for an actress to be like. It doesn't have to be your big famous AAA or A-list. I think actors are actors to me. So my question to think about is, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for that you are a adventurous actress, you are good in a particular skill set, whatever? So I feel, okay, again, this is my personal perspective, all actors wants to land themselves for the next job, and all actors need is a good role and exposure. Sometimes it could be in the good hands of Daniel Yam, who gives you a good breakthrough performance, so that others can continue to engage you. So to me, I think the actress route and journey, talking about other countries, there are thousands of people lining up just to get the role. We're talking about in China, we're talking about other countries, but Singapore, we're kind of small, you see. But of course, I really want to hear Philo's perspective as well, because Philo it's casting, right? So that's my take, Leanne. I'll take it with a pinch of salt. Belinda, you want to add on? If not, we're going to get Philo to chip in.
Yeah, I actually want to add on from the point of view of an artist manager, because I think it's been unique, because I have been an artist manager before. I think Leanne's question was, should I be authentic or should I fake it till you make it, right? And there are two ways to do it. My first question to Leanne is, why do you want to act?
Well, I want to act because when I watch films and shows, I feel less alone. So, and then it's so interesting to be in somebody's, like another person's life and portray in a truthful way. And if just one person is touched or one person identifies with it, or to be in something like that.
Do you agree that in every role that you take, there's a piece of you in it? Okay, if you agree that, then the fact is, then that question does not exist whether you're authentic or fake it till you make it. Because no matter what role you take online, as your online persona, there's a part of you in it. So the thing is, you mentioned you're a private person. I think all of us are private in some ways and we're public in some ways. For the fact that we're all social animals, and the way we face our families, or different groups of friends, or when we face our colleagues, we all behave in different facades. So my question to you is, figure out what is the online persona you want to create, and then do that. And you don't have to wait for roles to come to you. There are a lot of avenues for you to act online. Create a TikTok account and start acting. Create do multiple personas on YouTube. Do a 1 minute video, and start acting. It can be you online. So you were mentioning about online influencers, but there are also different types of influencers online. There are people who actually just live with an online persona, and in person they are totally different. They're like comedians online and totally not funny in person. You know what I mean? So whether the question is, should I be authentic? Should I be really open about my life? Should I be fake it till you make it? Well, I don't think that question is really that valid, because the lines are blurring. So if you're able to inform people that you are an effective, versatile, like what Ray said, the kind of actress you say you are, then you have created a successful brand for yourself.
All right. Thank you. Philo, let's hear from a casting director's perspective. All right. Thanks, Leanne. I think all of us give you some perspective, and we look forward to actually see you showing up online with your skill sets, whether you can ride a horse, whether you can do some archery, or like, all the skill set that Philo is talking about. And interesting perspective from a casting director, where you guys are just combing social media accounts such as Instagram to look out for all this. Thanks, Philo, for coming out to agree to come out on stage. All right. Thanks a lot, Leanne. Thanks for coming to join us on this Clubhouse event. So yeah, for those who are joining us, we are almost coming near to the end. I promised my speakers, and really grateful for them to come and support and to share whatever they know about creating content. But if you look at my profile, there's a rundown, and we are coming to the last leg, which is to hopefully conclude and talk about what my speakers are working on next. But before I do that, is there anyone with a question? So thanks for joining us. We have Lance. Lance writes a lot on Medium, right? I mean, in the past, I don't know about Medium until when I read Lance's article. Eric writes a lot on LinkedIn, right? I'm not sure. Eric, do you even write on Medium?
No, I haven't written anything on Medium. I'm a very simple guy. I buy only one type of car. I only stay in one brand of hotel. I only write on LinkedIn. The rest, I sometimes just share the link. You hardly see me anywhere else. Yeah, I just cannot split myself into so many different platforms.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, we have sound designers, Terrence. All right, so let's just go to the last, since we don't have anyone raising their hands for questions. So I would like to go with Eric first. Eric, tell us what you're working on, and what's happening tomorrow, and other of your current form club in Clubhouse.
Yeah, so I just started a club called Institute of Life, which is my company, which I have for the last 5 years. So every Tuesday, 9:30, I have a room, and it talks about career, talks about branding. So tomorrow is social media strategies from influencer and KOL. So I have about 7 to 8 people. One has got like 1.6 million on TikTok. A few are influencer on Instagram, but not necessarily those type where it's just showing face. I have got Valerie, who's in the audience down here. She's going to show us plating. She worked with chefs around the world to showcase the way they arrange the plates. So you can be 50 years old, 60 years old, you can be 20 years old, you can show your face, don't show your face. How can you up your social media game for just the people on the street, not necessarily wanting to be influencer? Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, so guys, click on Eric's profile, and that's one you should just scroll down all the way under the member of. It'll be easy for you to look for his club, which is in an orange logo. That's a dot in the middle. So once you clicked it in, right, you can actually see that club. It's called Institute of Life. Okay, am I muted? Oh, I'm not. Okay, cool. All right,
I can hear you well. Yeah.
Thank you. Good. All right. How about Belinda? Why don't you tell us about your? Is it considered an art tech? Oh, we have Lance. So after Belinda share, we get Lance to speak a little bit.
Yes. So something interesting that I'm moving on with after dwelling in marketing as well as entertainment for the past 15, 18 years. So I actually started an art tech company. So if you wonder what is art tech, literally it means art, like ART. So if you know fintech, health tech, this is art tech. We want to make art more accessible emotionally and physically to 98% of the world's population. Why 98%? Is because currently the incumbent art market is structured and designed to service the 2% of the world's population of the high net worth and high net worth individuals. And one of the reasons why you feel the art market to be somewhat on the pedestal is because it was not structured and designed to meet the needs and services of the rising consumer like us. So that is what I'm working on right now. So we're working with artists, we're working with people who are art lovers but may not be collectors. And we want to create the Disney world built on an Alibaba-like ecosystem, but for art. That's how big the kind of world we want to build. So we are like at baby steps currently, but we also created a club for that. It's called Everyday Art for Everyone. It's also on my profile. And on my profile, you will be able to see our URL as well. For anyone who likes art, it doesn't matter if you understand art. It's anyone who likes art, something beautiful. Please join us on our movement as we bring art to your everyday.
Wow, that's so important in Singapore, lack of art culture, I feel. So
Okay, we're going to get the biggest art company from Singapore.
all right, so I'm going to invite Lance to talk, but before I do that, on the live stream, okay, we have Yase, one of my students, had a question, but because of the time, Yase, if you are still listening, okay, sorry, let me just go back to the live stream. Yase, your question, I will ask Belinda because I feel Belinda is the right person to answer your question. I'm going to get her to at least send a voice message and I will forward that to you, okay? Because Yase is asking some strategic advice in terms of B2B content marketing. So it's not really what we are actually talking about, creating content here. So Yase, sorry for that. We can't answer you right now. So Lance, any one last few question or words you have here, Lance?
Wow.
Thank you so much, Lance. Eric, you want to add something on?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to write on Medium, because a lot of time the article is already there. I can always repurpose, to suit the specific platform's audience. So thank you for pointing out. Just currently, I really need to fork out some time to do that. Before I go, I really want to thank you, Ray. Ray's a fantastic partner. Always try to make me like a superstar. I think that's his nature. If you come onto his show, you feel like one. So I really enjoy partnering with Ray. And we did shoot a video together to teach people how to shoot short video. It's a video bio, a video CV. I posted it on LinkedIn. And video recently is not easy to get engagement, but I think we got some 500 likes, and it caught the attention of the LinkedIn editor as well. So she has featured it on her own profile. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm just so honored to be able to invite Belinda, Eric, Daniel, and everyone here on the stage. We're coming late, coming to the end of it, but we're still lack of Daniel to do a quick plug on what you're working on next. I know you have a movie been stopped because of pandemic and things like that. Tell us a little about what you're working on, and we can hopefully close this.
Okay, quick one. I'm just writing my next feature film. That's it.
Oh,
I mean, I do have some other projects. Doing a recruitment campaign for insurance agent. Another video for SPF, Singapore Police Force. Yeah, and doing a pro bono video for Comchess. So pretty exciting for the next 4 months. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! So it's your fourth movie.
I'm just
your
writing
fourth
it.
movie. Okay, great. Hopefully we can have maybe one room that talks about your journey, the ups and
Okay.
downs of being a movie director and writer.
I'd love to share lots of story.
Hi Benjamin, you are late to join. Benjamin had a question he wants to ask, during the day. But we're coming late, my speakers are tired, most of them are like eyes closing already, especially Daniel. So, thank you everyone for joining. Anyone want to add something? Because I don't want to be rude just to close it. Nope? Okay. Cool. Thanks everyone that have joined. I really appreciate that you guys are here with us, sharing. So thank you so much again. I'll just stay here for another 4 more minutes. And then for my moderators, that this thing happened because some of you might be still new to Clubhouse. So moderators can actually accidentally close the room. So Daniel and Belinda, if you want to leave, I know it's late, you can leave quietly. I just want to hold up because Sorry.
I just want to say this is really early for me. So if anyone else has questions, I don't mind answering them.
Cool. Yeah, maybe we can
Yeah.
stick around for a little bit,
Yeah.
because I don't want to hold up Eric and Daniel as well. So,
All right.
Yeah.
It's late for me. I have to prepare for my article tomorrow morning. I need to wake up at 5:30 to start writing. So I will leave first, and it's really good meeting all of you. I'm available on Instagram and LinkedIn, and for the link to my room tomorrow is on my Instagram bio. All right, see you. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Good night,
Good to
Eric.
meet you, Eric.
Bye.
Honor.
Okay, so usually this is how I would facilitate the room. We have film creatives here. We have, not just one casting director. We have another casting director, Arisha. So we got some actors here, Benjamin, Leanne. Let's see, we have director JD, some of my students here as well. Although it's a small rooms can be fun too because we get more personal sometimes. Yeah, everyone gets to speak and things like that, right? But yeah. Yeah, I have to moderate a bit because if not, it gets really messy. I think if you look at Clubhouse, some rooms, people start to talk, and then, miss the topic here and there. So usually how I do it is I will still kind of close the room, and then if Belinda wants to continue on a different topic, I strongly encourage everyone to follow Belinda. So in that way, Belinda will actually have her own, I would say, a topic of the room that you guys can continue because Belinda's got so much to offer. Right? So she gave really good answers here. I think Daniel's gonna tow already lah. So
Yeah,
you gotta stay
still
true,
editing,
is it?
man.
Yeah.
I still gotta edit a project. For
Damn,
presentation
yeah, I did the
tomorrow.
project. Cool. So don't mind me. I'm going to close the room. I'm gonna do a countdown. So Belinda might start a new room. So before I see. No, people will join you right now because they know you got so much, to offer here. I wish, I thank, PK, Angela, everyone, Ashraf, Anu. I think Anu accidentally, raised the hand and then put down the hand. So if anyone here have questions, this beautiful, knowledgeable speakers here will start the room to answer them. But I got to crash as well. So thanks again for joining our first session. I'll be sharing this live stream, okay, after I edit it. All right. So
Thank you so much for the invite.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
All the best to everybody.
Thank you so much. Okay, counting down. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Good night.